Okay, now to each of us will definitely also have different viewpoints because we all come from different school of thoughts. Now, from where I come in my speech or in my experience, I've always seen that if I want that hook, I do that in my title. I keep people guessing in my title. But my intro has to be strong because, see, let's just face it, in today's world where we have everything on our fingertips and everything is fast, if you don't catch your audience listening to you in the first 10 to 15 seconds, you've lost them already, right? The attention of a human now, they say, is lesser than a goldfish's, which is, I think, 6 or 8 seconds. So if you don't give an intro, which is powerful, right? They are not going to listen to you. Now, it can mean anything. It could mean something absolutely, something over the top. Then you can bring them down when you get into the body. It depends on how you want to open it and what is your intention, right? Whether you want them to be shocked, whether you want their attention, what is it that you want? So it's completely on you. But having a bold introduction or a loud introduction or a very clear introduction is very important for the audience to even want to listen to your story. That's my viewpoint. It's not giving away. How can you give away what your story is in those few lines? You can't. Your intro can't be more than 10 to 15 seconds. You shouldn't be spending time more than 15 seconds on your intro. You should dive straight into your points after that, your body, because your body is where you're putting all your attention in. So give a powerful introduction, otherwise you've already lost them. They're already going to WhatsApp and trying to message ke aaj raat ko kya khana hai. You've lost them. So don't
Yes,
do
yes,
that.
I got it, got it. Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so door is your introduction, body is whatever conversation is happening in the living room. And conclusion is that, excuse me, conclusion is purely that one window, that one balcony, that one place where the view is so unforgettable. So your conclusion is that view. It's the moment your audience is standing still, taking a breath and thinking that, oh my God, that is what I'm going to remember. See, most of the time, after a 7 minute 30-second speech, if you manage to finish it on dot, uh, people forget your opening. They will also sometimes forget the points in between, but they will always remember how you left them feeling. Your conclusion is the view. Let's say I walk into a house and somebody's showing me the house. I think what would be my major takeaway, sorry, is if somebody tells me that you have a walk-in wardrobe, I will be like, this is the house I want to buy. So that view, what is the last view that you want your audience to carry home, becomes your conclusion. So as much as your content, which is the center, your pointers, your body is important, your intro and conclusion has to be bang on, that much important, because you're leaving them with an example. Okay. Uh, there's a short example I can give you. Like, I heard somebody say a speech, that she lost most of her confidence after becoming a new mother. All the stories that she said pertaining to what made her lose her confidence after she became a mom, it was very beautiful. I mean, I connected with it because I'm a mom also. But it was the ending that stayed with me for maximum, because she said that I didn't lose confidence, I misplaced it. And motherhood helped me find it again. So for me, that stayed because she didn't lose something, she misplaced it. And I connected too about my confidence, because the change of my lifestyle and everything. So that's the kind of view you want to leave. So you need to have a strong view when we are closing, because that is what they are leaving with. Everybody always remembers the end. So build your speech, ask yourself, is my door inviting enough? Is my living room clear, intentional? Is there clarity in what I'm trying to portray? And most importantly, what view will my audience take home once they leave my home? So these three things, if you keep in mind, I think your planning comes into picture. Right? Yes, you're there.
Hello, ma'am. Uh,
Don't call me ma'am. We
so,
all call each other by name.
okay. I have a question. I recently saw one speech by Aaron Beverly. I hope
Yeah.
I got the name right. In
Yes.
his speech, he opened his speech saying, "This story is unbelievable," and he went to a wedding of his friends and how things unfold beyond. So, when you mentioned you want a very stronger introduction, but this introduction was helping you picturize what he was going through. Okay, but this is slightly different what you explained right now. So I wanted to understand, is it up to us, or is it how do we then communicate that introduction powerful enough for people to stay with you?
Why do you think that introduction was not powerful? He told that this story is unbelievable, and I
No,
want
I'm
to
not
listen
saying
to something which is unbelievable.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it wasn't powerful. I'm saying
Huh.
the introduction which you mentioned, the first 10-15 seconds, and then you engage the audiences with. His story was the story is unbelievable, and then he started with the marriage and the wedding and all that.
Marriage. Huh.
Yeah,
Wedding.
he continued that story. So I wanted to know that it probably longer in terms of introduction that he introduced his friends, then the venue, and then the family, and then the incidents. So he kept on going on with that story. So how do we now break that structure into introduction like a door, which you mentioned, which is an amazing analogy of door and the body and the house in conclusion. But how do we then structure it if that's the story?
Okay. So I think from the way you are understanding Aaron's speech, where he's actually, he took the shortest intro in itself. He
Mhm.
did not delve into introducing it too much. He just left it as it's a beautiful story, it's an unbelievable story. And that's enough for him as an intro. He's just announcing
Okay.
that, dude, I'm going to tell you something else. That's his intro.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
After that, when he started into his story, what I did, this is about an Indian wedding I attended, and it's a culture and blah blah, and my friends. That's anyway, he's moved into his body already. That's not his intro.
Okay. So
That's not
that
his intro.
question
Yeah.
can be intro
In
also. Okay.
yeah, intro is that first announcement that you make that do you
Got
want
it.
to listen to this? That in
Okay.
itself is intro. Your intro is not longer than probably 1.5 to 2 sentences.
Okay.
The but it's loud. It's, hey, look at me, listen to me for the next 7 minutes. I have something amazing to tell you.
Okay.
That in itself is intro. And then I'm start telling you what amazing thing was I talking about. That in itself is saying that. He also related to his last speech ka 17 words title, right? Yeah, yeah, I think that he had 17 words in his speech title.
Hmm.
Next time, Pinky, you should have 18.
So I remember, his first sentence was that the contestant is relief. So that was his connection, if I remember
Yeah,
it correctly.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Then he
yeah.
said it's a little story, and then he goes continue.
Because his last speech had the title of 17 words, and the contestant had to read it twice.
So see, what he's done very smartly is he's made the entire audience, half of the audience who watched that speech also connect that, oh my God, last time also his speech was damn good. So I am now getting into another good speech. So he very smartly, he took you back to his previous speech, and now he's actually preparing you that I have come with another good thing or much better thing. So that's a smart way of doing it also. Because the only rule that you have if you're going to ISC is not referring to another contestant or the story of that, any other speech contestant there. But you mentioning yourself is fine, right? So he did a very smart thing. He took that in the intro, he took you back to his past, brought you back to present, and said, can now let me take you to my new speech, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
probably even grander. That's a smarter way to do it. So intro was only the initial announcement. It's not the entire thing. He's quickly moved into the body.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
All right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sunita.
Okay. So Krishna, we can move to the next one. So now we move now. that's basically planning. It's completely structure. The analogy of home, house, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, find your own way of what fits best for you. And to each one of us, we all write differently, we all think differently. So you can figure out what works best for you. This is my humble way of trying to tell you how it works for me when I write my speeches. Now we move into shaping it, which is basically nothing but to give it a flow. Now, once you've planned the structure, you have to give it movement, rhythm, and flow. I have a coughing issue. Okay, when I talk too much, I cough a lot. So you all will just have to use my cough as the rhythm in my speech and bear with it. I can't do anything. Okay, that just imagine me speaking with a cough. So now, so once we have a well-planned structure, uh, it's only the skeleton. Now, what basically matters is the flow that we want to bring so that the story comes alive. A well planned structure requires a rhythm, right? Where there is pause. You need to figure out where are you going to lean in, where are the smiles, where is the shift that you want the audience to feel. All of that thing you need to now plan, because you have to structure it and figure out the flow, right? This, we are talking about the structure. In the structure is planning, and then now you're going to shape it so that you're giving it a nice flow. So when your speech has rhythm, the audience is they're not only listening to your words, they start feeling with you. If you're emotional, they feel your emotion. If you think that it was absolutely rubbish, even they're with you, probably laughing their hearts out. It all depends on, see, it's a classic thing. Uh, the audience is always going to imitate the emotion that you are showing. So if you show confidence, they're confident in listening to you. If you show that, oh my God, it was such a hilarious event that happened, and then when you couple it with all your proper words and flow, they're with you. They're laughing with you. So remember that your flow matters. If you go hodgepodge here and there, it's going to be very difficult for them to understand it. Just think of it as stepping stones. So your flow has to be, your story has to flow from within those stones and still flow very clearly with your ideas. The transition has to be smooth. You have to build on um, each other. The story from where you left, it has to continue in the next paragraph to the next to the next. You have to move with a very clear intention, and your emotional continuity has to be there. Don't drop it. It's just like movie, right? So me being from the media background, it's like when you know that she had worn, I mean, her hair was back in the previous shot, and the same continuations, this hair cannot be in front unless she did it, right? So you have to make sure that that is there. So that's called continuity. If there is a sudden jump, you can see it. That this what I explained is more visual. But even word wise, if there is no flow and there is a sudden jump in your thought, people are like, "Are right now, he was talking about this. How did he get here?" You need to tell them, how did you get there, right? So the flow becomes very important. So shaping it, it's probably just designing, not just what you say, but how you want to make them travel through your message becomes the flow that you're trying to put. And each of this comes with patterns. There are different patterns that you can use when you're trying to write your speech. Krishna, can we move to the next slide? There's there's a lot of things that you can trust. Can it be chronological? It can be topical. It can be cause and effect, problem, spatial, anything at all, right? This is the most simple one. Chronological is like an event. It started in your past. Now you're talking about your present. Then you go to your future. It's just storytelling, nothing else but storytelling. Uh, let's say if I say when I joined Toastmasters, then what really happened uh, in my last 4 years, and how it transformed me today, where I am today, and why, and how. That journey becomes my continuation, and I end it. And it's simple. I started, I joined, this is what I was doing, and this is where I am now. It's simple. No chick pick. No, you're not trying to take them into some flashbacks, confuse them, no stressing them out, keeping it plain and simple. Topical is obviously by theme or category. This is when you're going to break your message into themes. Uh, let's say informational, motivational, um, technical speeches. Don't do technical speeches. Everybody switches off. Do informational, motivational, inspirational. Do any kind of stational that you have, that you can do. And like you can just go into, like, probably say three things leaders must do. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Talk about 3 points, finish it up, wrap it up. Obviously, have a great intro, have a great conclusion, and that's also one. Cause and effect. Uh, I mean, simple. What led to what? Problem solution. Again, what's the issue? How did you fix it? Right? And spatial is basically just movements across places, like from a noisy school corridor to the quiet library to the stage where I found my voice. Like, this is like dramatic, but you're trying to move them from one place to the other. So you're creating a scenario, you're taking them from one room to the other while you're saying the words also, and while you're actually modulating your voice. Right? So you're doing all of that when it comes to this kind of a uh, spatial movement, right? Then these patterns are going to help your uh, audience see the shape of your speech even before you speak it. So when you choose the right pattern, clarity happens very naturally. So pick a pattern because it helps, gives you clarity. Which line are you going in? Don't switch from this to this to that. If you stay on track, it's good for you also. It gives you more clarity. We can move to the next. So transitions now here, because your flow is there, you know where you want to go, what have you picked, you know what kind you're trying to make. But what's your transition? Does your transition work? How are you going to move from one to the other? So transition is not just for decoration. A lot of people just use so is not a transition word. Okay, so definitely is not a transition word. That's not how you do transition. They're not for decoration. They're basically like a glue. It's helping you to go. So it's like an invisible bridge from one island to the other. So let's treat your situations as islands, right? You want to go from one island to the next. You want to take them with you. You can't suddenly appear there. You need to take that tiny bridge. So that one sentence that takes you from here to there is absolutely important. Like I said, don't let them get disconnected. If they're like, "Arey, right now, though he was in school, how did he get married? He missed so many parts of his life. Was this child marriage?" Don't confuse them, because then they start thinking somewhere else, right? So you need that little tiny bridge, that tiny sentence that's going to basically move from this side to that side, right? Because if you don't do that, most of the audience is going to really wonder what the hell happened. Did I miss out on something? And obviously, speech, everybody only listens to once. They're not going to come listen to it again. So it's important and imperative that they know it, right? So the way you most human way to think about transition is that there are pauses. Okay, they are tiny space where you're going to prepare your audience for your next idea. I am telling you that I'm here now, and the moment I need to get there. But how did I get there? Because I bumped into somebody. And why did I bump into somebody? Because this was the reason. You need to just take them from one place to the other, and gently, right? So if, for example, if I say, I was nervous, full stop, I walked onto the stage. These two sentences, if I say together, I was nervous, I walked onto the stage, sounds like something was missing. I ate up something in between. I did not give you a reason that, okay, I was nervous, but how did I get there, right? So if I want to use a transition, let's say, uh, I say, I was nervous, but the moment I walked onto the stage, something shifted. Suddenly, this sentence is now part of a story, like a continuing emotion, where I felt something. I continued to feel something, but the whole feeling of mine shifted. So I'm making my audience also come with me, feel something, understand where I was at that particular moment, and then shift the whole thing. And it ends up into a story. So if your structure is your blueprint, flow is the rhythm, transition are the breath. They hold everything together. It's like your glue, like I mentioned, right? Now the third part is how we say it. You need to bring this whole thing alive. We've planned it, we've shaped it, and now comes the part everyone fears and loves in equal measures, saying it, which is how are we going to bring this alive? A good plan deserves a great performance. If we don't practice, we're not going to be able to do this, right? A beautifully structured speech means nothing if it sits flat in delivery. Now, I always give the analogy of the life support system in a hospital. We can shift to the next slide. So, how is it? So, when a patient is dead, there's a flat line, right? And the moment you know that the patient is alive, the line is moving up and down, right? There's life over there. And there is, if you do not practice your storytelling skills with your voice and your enactment and your pauses and your modulations that you need to bring in, it's going to fall flat. And when you speak monotonously, when you speak flat, you will not be able to take the audience with you. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for them to walk with you because they are here spending their 7 minutes glued and focused, only listening to you. Give them a good time. So practice it. Practice it. Don't make it dramatic. Don't make it theatrical. Just make it very, very intentional. Feel your script, understand your script, practice your script, and say it the way you feel it so that they can feel it too. It's very important to use your voice, pauses, and gestures. You have to let that entire time you spend planning it, shaping it, creating your transition, spending so much time in it. If you do not but present it well, I mean, there's no point. It's a waste of your effort and time that you've put in for so many months, right? Writing a script. So it's absolutely important. Your voice is what carries emotion. Your pauses let the meaning settle. Your gestures, it shapes the energy. Your facial expressions bring authenticity. Practice in various forums. Do it in, if you're in an online meeting, you can actually record and probably see how your facial expressions work. What's too over the top? What is really control? What works for you? Maybe then that is something that you remember. How do you know if your voice is working or no? Record it and listen back to your audio. If you are not switching off listening to yourself, then the audience will not switch off either. And third is your visual, where you can actually start using gestures. You need to see whether this gesture is even required over here, then use it. If not, then don't do it. Just stay somewhere, relax yourself, and just tell your story. So all of this is that comes under your saying. How, and the more prepared you are, the more confident you are. And like I already mentioned, if you're confident, the audience is confident too in listening to you. They have faith in you that you're bringing something kick-ass and they're going to listen to you, right? That's all that matters at the end of it, that how you deliver, because it's the final performance that you're giving. So it's important that we do that. And we can move to the, I think, final slide. I think it's mind map, which is also in the speaker series, which TI has fixed. So for me, how it works is I take a A3 drawing board, my main idea right in the center, and then I start putting branches. I have this story, I have this story, I have this story. Then I keep doing permutation combination, right? At club level, there are certain stories I know that my club people will get. So I don't take those which could get confusing. See, you need to understand also when you're moving ahead, you can start making your script more um, uh, challenging for yourself. So don't ever discard all the story points that you're trying to connect with it. Leave them there, but choose what you want. Right? That paper, no, is a visual key that helps you to visualize that where you were trying to go with your story. What is the kind of structure that you want to have? It really helps. So if you can put your central idea in the center and start having everything around it, and mark sometimes your stories in different colors, give it different bubble, um, use different sketch pens or different shapes. These are stories, these are examples, so which you want to match where, and coming back to the central idea, it helps. Now this is something that even TI suggests, that mind mapping basically works very beautifully for storytellers. If you want to use it, you may also do the same, because a mind map is not your speech, but it's the spark that helps the speech come alive. You have your entire speech on one big paper, right? So, yeah, I guess I've spoken too much between my coughs. So, yes, quick recap is just plan it, which is know your message, shape it, organize your ideas in transition, say it, deliver it with energy and emotion. Basically, your voice doesn't need perfection, your story doesn't need decoration, but it definitely needs a structure, a rhythm for your ideas, and a home for your message. So go out there, design your next speech like it matters. Because when your words have structure, your message becomes unforgettable, right? And your story is something that can then make you heard by millions, and they will remember you. Just like we still remember Aaron Beverly's speeches, the last year one also, and the next, and the next, right? So that if you want to get there, have a structure to your speech and work at it. Do not, it's not a big thing. If you're going to say that I just wrote it last night, man, and look at how I delivered, that has no value. It sounds great, but it has no value. Prepare yourself. I personally, I'm very obliged when I go up on stage. If there are 500 people and each one is giving 7 minutes out of their life to me, I think I need to be obliged, and I need to make sure I put up a good show so that at least those 500 people enjoy it. Whether you win, lose is different, but how you make them feel and how you leave them feeling is so important. So take that onus on you when you write your speech, structure it. Don't go haphazard, don't go either udar, don't jump around, right? Have a structure, and I'm sure all of us, let's one of the D98% now go for the world championship. It's high time that one of us is there, but go back to your basics. Go back to your basics, read the project guidelines, and write your script in a structured way. I think that's it from me. If any more questions. Yeah, this quote is there in the TI one, so I didn't want to drop it. I just kept it there. It's best to do things systematically, since we are only human and disorder is our worst enemy. I know half of you all are already stalwarts. You all have been winning a lot of prizes, whether it's an evaluation or speeches, but it's a learning process. And I'm sure that each time when we write, it's so beautiful that we always see a beautiful way to say the same sentence again. So yeah, so I guess it's a great thing. Thank you, Santosh.
Thank you